What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got something special, an in-depth review of the brand new WPL C74-1 Suzuki Jimny. This little beast is turning heads in the RC world and I'm here to see if it lives up to the hype. One of the biggest highlights of the Suzuki Jimny is just how much scale realism it brings to the table. Seriously, for a budget RC, the level of detail is next level. First off, the replica interior. It's got proper seats, a dashboard, a steering wheel, and even little details like door panels. Now, one thing I really like is how WPL tucked the battery tray away under the body at the rear instead of having it awkwardly mounted somewhere visible. It's nicely hidden, keeping that clean, scale appearance. And here's a cool little touch, you can even remove the windows if you want, as well as the removable top. This all adds to the scale factor, letting you run it as a full body truck or an open top crawler, which completely changes the look and feel. In this video, I'll put it to the test on some real terrain to see just how capable it really is. So is the WPL C74-1 Suzuki Jimny the next must-have RC truck? Stick around to find out, let's get into it. Alright, so after taking out the truck for the first time, I noticed that the suspension at the front was binding up. As you can see in the video, I have to apply a lot of pressure to make the suspension work, but in the rear it was normal, so that is a big negative so far. Overall, I was actually pretty happy with the handling and performance, but after watching the footage I did notice that there was a few too many wheel lifts, which is obviously due to the front suspension binding up. So in the moment I didn't really notice it, because I was having a great time driving the car for the first time off-road. But sometimes it did work properly, and it did feel really good when it was. So I have a feeling it was probably just an issue with mine. So if you buy it yourself, it probably won't have the issue with binding. I think I've seen maybe 1 or 2 reviews saying like of other people having issues with binding, but it's a pretty simple fix. You can upgrade the suspension. Sometimes there's other issues with bent pins. I don't fully know, but it's a pretty simple fix. It's just rather frustrating. So yeah, the rear suspension was totally fine, but since the front was binding, it limited how much flex the rear could get. So that explains why the truck felt a bit unpredictable at times. It's not a total deal breaker obviously, but definitely something to be aware of if you're going to buy this truck. Now, straight out of the box, the first mod I did was remove the front bumper. That simple change vastly improves the approach angle, which is essential for off-road performance. I also swapped in some metal drive shafts, not because the stock ones failed, but just as a precaution, as in the past I've had plastic drive shafts explode on other WPL models I have. But from what I've seen online, the C74-1's stock drive shafts seem to hold up just fine. So while it's a good upgrade, it's not essential right away. Now, let's talk about the stock tires. And yeah, they're way too hard. As with most WPL models, the stock tires on the ready-to-run versions are always extremely hard. Or maybe not extremely hard, but in comparison to the kit version or any aftermarket tire that you can get, they're very hard. So the harder tires really became noticeable on loose terrain where traction would be a bit of a struggle regardless of tire. So the harder compound just doesn't let the tires conform to the surface as well, which means that you obviously get less grip when you really need it. But honestly, considering the price tag of the C74-1, I can't be too mad about it. It's a budget-friendly rig and the aftermarket has tons of upgrade options. So swapping these out for softer tires is an easy fix. While we're on the topic of upgrades, the suspension and underbody components are pretty much all plastic except for the steering arm. So besides upgrading to some brass or metal wheels and better tires, my next big mod will be a full metal kit to add extra weight. That extra weight is going to hugely improve performance, giving it better stability, traction, and a more planted feel on the trails. Alright, so after putting the WPL C74-1 through its paces, I've got to say, for just 120 AUD dollars, this is absolutely worth it. When you look at the value you're getting, it's honestly amazing. First off, you got the scale detail, it's insane. Your opening doors, a removable top, and even fold down windshield. Not something you'd usually see at this price point. And while the stock performance has some quirks, like the stiff tyres and front suspension binding, it's still really capable out of the box. But here's the best part, with just a few simple mods you can turn this thing into an absolute beast. Softer tyres, a little extra weight, and maybe a full metal upgrade, and this thing will be next level. Budget RC car fans or scale enthusiasts, the WPL C74-1 is a solid buy. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you grab one? And if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button and subscribe for more RC content. See you in the next one.